Day falls on your birthday. You know, there's some weird national days. And one day I was curious and wondering if a weird national day fell on my birthday, like talk like a pirate day or text your ex national day. But by pure coincidence, National Down Syndrome Day fell on my birthday. And Down syndrome is a chromosomal disorder that affects a person physically and mentally. And unlike popular belief, it's not hereditary and it can occur to anyone. I only have one sister. She is 3 years older than me and she has Down syndrome, so I know quite a few things about it and would notice how little my classmates actually knew. And well, according to the National Down Syndrome Society, Down syndrome is the most common genetic condition, and I think it's 1 in every 691 babies in the United States born with Down syndrome. Yet there is a lack of Down syndrome awareness and a lot of out-of-date information on it. So I'm just going to talk to you guys about the types of Down syndrome, how it's diagnosed, the course of development, and maybe clear up a few misconceptions you guys might have on it. So there are 3 types of Down syndrome: trisomy 21, mosaic, and translocational. Trisomy 21 is the most common with 95% of cases, and in this one there are 3 copies of the 21st chromosome instead of the usual 2 we all have. And then there is mosaic Down syndrome, which is the least common, and it's 1% of cases. And in this one, the 21st chromosome is only partially affected, so there are only a few characteristics of Down syndrome. And finally, there's translocational Down syndrome with 4% of cases, and in this one, a part of the 21st chromosome is broken off, and usually it is attached to the 14th chromosome. So now that you guys know the types of Down syndrome there are, I'm going to explain how it's diagnosed. It can be diagnosed at birth and prenatally. Once a baby is born, it will most likely have the physical traits, which are low muscle tone, a single deep crease across the palm, slightly flattened facial profile, and an upward slant to eyes. But since some babies might have the physical traits, there's a chromosomal analysis that can be done, and it's just taking blood out and then it'll give the diagnostic. And prenatally, there is screening and diagnostic testing. And the screening test only gives an estimate of the chances of the child having Down syndrome, while the diagnostic testing gives a 99.9 accurate diagnostic. So as I mentioned, there's not only physical traits, but there's also mental limitations. Down syndrome can vary from severe to moderate, and their learning process is much slower. Like my sister, she is 21 years old at the moment, but her mental capacity is of a 10-year-old. Yet there are others who can fend for themselves and actually act like adults. Like this is an HBO documentary called Monica and David, and it's about a couple who both have Down syndrome, but they get married and they try to live their life independently. And there's also research done, like one by Elizabeth Dykins and David Evans, and they did research on different development profiles on a range of people with Down syndrome, and they basically prepared a plan for them so that they could read, write, and be socially active in the environment. And I just want to clear up some of the misconceptions on people with Down syndrome. It was discovered in 1959 by John Lyndon Down, but it was present long before that, and people with Down syndrome were misunderstood, isolated, and they had a very low life expectancy. But now there are organizations like the Buddy Walk and Band of Angels that strive to help people with Down syndrome as well as their family members. And their life expectancy has increased from 29 years of age to 60 years of age. And well, there's one really popular misconception that people with Down syndrome are always happy, and from personal experience, that's not true. My sister has a really big temper, so you just shouldn't mess with her. And this is a poem from a mother with a child with Down syndrome. It's called 2 Words.